What do you do? Well, I'm in insurance, and that's it. I mean, this ain't sexy. I mean, we're not. Nobody. Oh, tell me more. It's not. We usually start like, oh, okay, next conversation.
We always have we have head checks in our household. Learned that from therapy. I know we're going to talk about therapy a little bit later.
Yeah.
Head checks is where, hey, where's your head at? Where's your heart at?
Has there been days where you got home and you found the stress that you've had to deal with in this job, which is pretty abundant, has affected the home life at all?
I don't think it's affected the home life because I'm going to let it. I have a very strict 7 to 7 rule. I will answer a phone from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. work-related.
That's solid.
If it's after 7, that's my family's time.
It's not nearly as easy to focus on that new business, realizing that behind you, you have the potential for lost.
Yeah.
And that lost business, I mean, especially the very first time you ever lose business and you realize how much that takes out of your pocket, holy cow. What skills did you think were going to be some of the biggest ones that helped you find success in this national mid-market kind of concept? Cheers to episode 1, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're here. We're doing it. Let's go.
Let's do this.
All right. Well, let's have you start us off, dude. Just talk a little bit about who you are, where you came from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you're at now.
So, Matt Allison, originally grew up in West Texas, Odessa specifically. I've been in the insurance industry for 15 years, 11 of that in the work site space, and then 4 in the broker space. Personally, outside of insurance and work, married my high school sweetheart, has 6 beautiful babies.
6.
And they keep me very, very busy.
6 kids, dude.
Yeah.
You skipped biology class in high
And
school, man.
now
That's a lot of children.
It is, but
Holy cow.
they definitely keep us entertained.
So before we get started, because I've been calling you Matt, it's going to get really hard not to call you Matty Ice. So you have to explain why we call you DJ Matty Ice.
So back in the day, before my insurance days, and even part of my insurance days, I worked at a bar in Midland, Texas called Rockin' Rodeo. And one day our DJ just happened to be out, and our manager at the time, Mark, said, "Hey, have you ever DJed before?" I said yes.
Had you?
Sorry, Mark. Never DJed before. But DJed for about a year and a half, and Shane, our head DJ that took care of the company, this one day he came up and said, "Hey, you're killing it, Matty Ice," and it just kind of stuck.
There it is, man.
And it's
DJ
been there.
Matty Ice. What kind of music did you actually play at a rodeo as a DJ in Midland, Texas?
We played an hour of country, then a few rap songs, a few pop songs, line dance, and back to your hour of country.
Okay, all right. So just want to make sure you threw some fun stuff.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Because it's Midland.
If you remember the wobble from back in the day, that was big during my time at DJ.
Well, I mean, we're on camera if you want to get up and demonstrate it later
I'm
on.
not going to do the wobble. I didn't do it back then. I'm not going to do it now.
Give us a couple more of these old fashions. I'll see if I can.
Hey, we'll see what we can do.
All right, cool. Well, let's start with this, man. So obviously you spent your time at Aflac. You went from. I'm assuming you didn't go from DJing to Aflac. So what was the in between there?
So I actually went from DJing to Aflac. So coming out of high school.
I was wrong.
Yep. Coming out of high school, originally went to college and did what a lot of people do in Odessa, Texas, decided to join the oil field after a semester of college because got married young and needed to raise family, got to have money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to work at a company, and they decided to lay everybody off, shut the company down, and I had a decision to make at the time, and I was kind of in between. So and DJ just kind of for the time being and worked at Rockin' Rodeo for the time being. And then one day out of the blue, just got a email from Aflac, said, "Hey, would you like to come interview?" And I was like, heck, why not?
So they reached out to you.
They reached out to me.
All
and
right.
so interviewed, and I spent 3 months with them while I was DJing, and then jumped into leadership role after 3 months in and put the DJ
After
behind
only
me.
3 months.
3 months into Aflac, jumped into coordinator role.
Did you miss the door-to-door at all?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No,
That's
not at
a
all.
lot.
Not at all.
That Aflac stuff, man. I've never lived that life, but that Aflac stuff.
You
that
learn a lot.
door-to-door and
You learn a lot during that time, but it teaches you. Because if you do not have the grind, if you do not have the work ethic, you'll be out really, really quick. And so it kind of helps mold where we are today.
Well, speaking of that, So you went from Aflac
Mm-hmm.
to straight into the brokerage world with USI.
Yep.
So you went from at least a leadership position, but the old school door-to-door stuff straight into a mid-market role.
Yeah.
So when you were with Aflac and you're considering this move over to USI, what skills did you think were going to be some of the biggest ones that helped you find success in this national mid-market kind of concept?
Yeah, for sure. I thought that I was based a lot of it on the work ethic. I was like, man, if I have that, I can lean heavily on my work ethic. But I knew it was going to be a test with the product knowledge and learning the actual system. And so whenever you come over, it's like drinking from a fire hose whenever you jump into the mid-market role because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
We always joke with Aflac that on our we only used about 10% of our insurance license, our insurance exam with Aflac. Over here I'm using the other 90. I'm like, man, I haven't taken my test for 11 years. I got to go back and learn this stuff.
Well, I don't think you've sold pensions and annuities yet. That's part of our test, too. So I've never understood that piece, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
So, that move from Aflac to this, obviously, it's a big leap. Knowing what you know now, you've been with me for actually tomorrow.
Tomorrow's 4 years.
4-year anniversary.
4 years.
Happy anniversary, honey.
Thanks, buddy.
So, knowing what you know now, what do you feel was your perception coming into this business that may have been incorrect? Like, what do you think, I did this, and so now I'm going to kill it in the mid-market? And by the way, I'm not going to say USI a ton of times because we're not going to promote the companies, but I'm just talking about in this industry in general. What do you feel was really pivotal in moving over here, but maybe after 4 years you realized really didn't translate as well?
Oh, absolutely. I thought, and I hope that this is answering your question, I thought coming over here, timelines were always going to be the same. With Aflac, you can close a case in a week to 2 weeks. And I learned my first week with USI, actually my first day, that is not the case. It is normally a 6 to 12 month process if you're lucky.
You're open, yeah.
If you're lucky. But with the help of you and some of the folks we have with us over there, been able to lean on them and learn, and you start to understand the process, and you start to learn that, okay, this ain't going to happen overnight. We got to cultivate a relationship. We got to make sure that we're bringing value to the table, because at the end of the day, these companies are making decisions that affect their bottom dollar by a big margin, and they need to make sure they're making the right decision.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the biggest obstacle I thought coming in here, I was like, hey, this is going to be a snap. I'm going to close 100 accounts in a year. And I'm like, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I've most of the guys that I've hired, in this role, I've been here now for a little over 4 years. I think you were my very first official hire.
Brandon.
Brandon was right before I took over. Brandon's first day was my first official
was
day.
Was that your first hire?
Yeah, you were my first official hire. Brandon was there as I was going through the interview process for practice leader. But, it was you, I think, were my first official. I am now practice leader, and I put the stamp of approval on this guy hire. And you're still here.
I feel special.
How
Thank
about
you.
that? But a lot of the guys that I've interviewed, and some that I've hired, some that I haven't, have all talked about that, when we talk about the minimum appointments and the minimums and things like that, I'm going to get 20 first appointments in the first month, and I'm going to go out there and kill 2 or 3 clients in the first year. And So in that first year, what point do you think you started to realize this job's not quite as easy as I thought it was?
I would say after I came out of training. Once the training wheels are officially off, you've gone through all the knowledge of learning what you need to know, and they kind of unleash you on the world. That's whenever you realize that first day on the field when you're on your own and you're like, man, I got told no and to go the blank away like 12 times. Like, what's happening right now? But that's where you have to really look in and be like, okay, cool. I got told no. Now I just know to follow up with them in 2 months.
Well, so good. Let's nail on that.
Okay.
You got told no. And you said you looked inside. So what kind of conversations are you having with yourself to overcome that no? You got told no at Aflac too.
Oh, yeah.
So why is it different from Aflac to here?
So here, like I mentioned, we're always trying to cultivate a relationship. With Aflac, you get told no, cool. Go next door. You'll probably forget about the company you just got told no from. Here, there's only so many companies in that market space, in that size in San Antonio. So anytime they told me no, anytime I was told, hey, not right now, we're not looking, etc., I was like, hey, I completely understand. Do you mind if I follow up with you in 2 months? If anything, just say hi, maybe drop off some information. Just want you to know that I'm still around, still trying to put my footprint out there. Because at the end of the day, something is going to happen in that process. Even if they have had a broker for 25 years, something is going to happen where they're going to be like, this guy said he could take care of that. And they're going to remember the person that showed up and was told no 6 times before they're like, hey, you know what? Why don't you come on in and let's have a conversation? Because that's what is ultimately going to get you to those wins.
So that's part of the grind. Was there in that first year as you're going through that, and I always felt that was one of the biggest differences, especially with those that were focused on either small group or focused in the Aflac world, those kind of things. We're really hitting door to door. Like you just said it. If you hear no, I'm just going to go next door, hit another one, hit another one, hit another one. But our prospect pool is limited. So you keep hearing no from the same people over and over and over and over.
Exactly.
So in that first year, how did you personally, when you got home, deal with that kind of strife, that kind of difficulty, and constantly being told no, really by the same person?
Yeah, you're exactly right. So we actually call it table talk. It's where you're sitting down at dinner, kids have already eaten, they gone off to their room or play whatever. Now's your time to kind of debrief with the wife. Hey, honey, this is what happened today. Feeling a little down, maybe defeated.
Yeah.
Like, what should I do in this instance? And know my wife the way I do. She'll say, put your nose down, keep grinding, it'll come back. But just don't take that no and just shut down immediately.
Is Jen kind of a suck it up buttercup?
Not really. She's one that she's going to hear me out, but she's going to help me get to that answer that she's wanting me to get to.
Okay.
But she's going to stir that shit that way.
Maybe that's just how I see her. She seems like
she can.
Quit your whining.
That's with the kids.
Okay. That's a lot of kids. It's a lot of whining. So at home, you're saying you go home every night and you have those kind of conversations?
We always have we have head checks in our household. Learned that from therapy. I know we're going to talk about therapy a little bit later.
Yeah.
Head checks is where, hey, where's your head at? Where's your heart at? And so the head was always, here's work. Here's what I'm dealing with. I got told no today. I thought I had a client on the line, our prospect on the line, that I was for sure needed yes. We got told no. But she's able to process that and help me with the tools that she's learned to help get through that. And I highly encourage people in our industry to look through those or find somebody they can confide in, because this industry is tough on a lot of days.
So where did she learn it?
Therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's
also going to college. She also went to college for it.
Okay, so she's got a degree in that kind of.
Not yet. She's going through school right now.
Going through it right now. Okay. So
Psychology.
She was doing this before. So you led her to the path
Hey,
with all your craziness.
I'm going to take credit for
all
that.
right, good, you should. So once she's making a lot more money and you can retire, she can thank you for it.
I will greatly appreciate that.
Good job, man. So I want to go back to that first year again, because that's what a lot of guys, when I'm the whole reason we created this is talking to those guys that really in year 1, year 2. There's also some of this for those guys that have been in for year 4 and year 5 and starting to struggle too. No. But at what point were you really starting to struggle in year 1? Because you had a pretty good year in year 1.
Yeah, rode on about $200,000 my first year.
Yeah, you had a pretty good year. But was there any point in that year you felt maybe, I don't know, say regretful about making this move into this industry? Because you moved towns too. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
You didn't just move industries. You didn't just move jobs. You moved halfway across the state.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it was a regret. There were some days where I went home, I'm like, did I make the right call here? And that's where we go and do those head checks and whatnot. And the wife say, hey, you're in the spot where you need to be. And then turn around and you win a $125,000 case 2 weeks later. You're like, okay, I can handle this. Then you go to the fourth quarter. I think the fourth quarter is tough for everyone. It doesn't matter if you have a $10 million book. It doesn't matter if you're a brand new associate. The fourth quarter is tough for everybody. You mentioned something before, and I can't quite put it in the words as you said. It's kind of like how women give birth; they forget that pain, and we just go through that.
You're gonna have mad women on us.
I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me for that.
Don't diminish that.
Please don't hate me for that. But we have short memories whenever we come to the fourth quarter, and we're about to gear up for it again. And I'm like, why are we putting ourselves through this?
Because it starts 6 months out. So here we are, man.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like it starts earlier and earlier every single year.
It really does. It really does. So, what if you don't mind? I know this gets a little personal, but the kind of advice that Jen, your wife, is giving you, what is she saying that's keeping you at peace, that keeps you coming day after day?
So, Jen always makes me say, hey, are you capable of doing this? Yes, I am. Do you have the ability? Yes, I do. Can you go out there and face the tough things? Yes, I can. And it's almost like she makes me say it out loud to know that I can still get up, walk out the door, go into the office, and face the day. And there's sometimes there for a stretch where it's tough every single day. You have clients that are upset. You have clients where it's not going the best way. Prospects aren't answering phone calls. And you have to have that, I almost call it a voice of reason, behind you that supports you on a day-to-day basis. You do an excellent job, and I appreciate what you do. And but it's different whenever it comes from that person that's standing beside you every single day. And it's like, hey,
definitely,
you got this.
I'm glad you and I get along, but that's the one that matters, right? So what about, let's talk about, as we're talking about head checks and everything, let's talk about the family in general.
Yeah.
6 kids. 6 freaking kids, man. I don't know how you do it. But what do you think are your kids' perception of this? How have they handled it with all the time constraints you have and all the stress you have in this job? How are they handling it?
You know, it's funny. They there's times where I feel that they're in the insurance industry as well. Because I'll come home to be like, hey, Dad, you win a case today?
Either that or you're convincing them not to get into this one. But, yeah.
My daughter said one time that she wants to get into the insurance industry. And I was like, are you sure?
We got the summer internships, man.
So my kids talk to me about it often. How's your day? Did you win any cases? How's it going with so-and-so? Like, we're a very open and communication family. Like, we talk very openly in our household.
Yeah.
And so my oldest in particular, my 2 olders that are about to be done with high school, God, that makes me feel old, they are constantly asking, hey, how's everything at work? Did you succeed at what you're trying to do today, et cetera, et cetera. We talk about things going on at the office at the house, and your name is brought up at our household quite often.
Oh, well.
Nothing but good things, but you're good.
Yeah, sure. There's days.
But it's interesting. But also being able to, I'm home every single night with my children. Most days. Yeah, there's times where we have to go to town randomly for a client.
Every now and then, that's not
there's times in my previous career where I was out of town for a week, a week and a half.
Oil field too, right?
I was in the oil field too before I joined, before the DJing world, and that wasn't fun either, doing nights.
Yeah.
But this allows me to be home. I'm at almost every child's function, school function, choir concert, awards assembly. I know I'm like, hey, Jay, I'm going to the next one. End of the school year's the circus at our household, but it allows me to be there because we're able to focus on what we're doing here, communicate at home, be a part of our family's life. The work-life balance is very, very important in our household.
Has there been days where you got home and you found the stress that you've had to deal with in this job, which is pretty abundant, has affected the home life at all?
I don't think it's affected the home life because I'm going to let it. I have a very, and I didn't put this in until I left Aflac. And honestly, I wish I'd have put this in a long time ago, and hopefully people take this idea. I have a very strict 7 to 7 rule. I will answer a phone from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., work-related.
That's solid.
If it's after 7, that's my family's time. And that's the only thing I can never get back is my family's time. And so I have to be very, very disciplined about that. To be like, okay, cool. Work call's coming in at 9:30 at night. It happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can wait till in the morning.
You text them or anything like that to let them know?
I just told them, hey, I'll get with you first thing in the morning, just to let them know. That way we're not leaving them on.
So you're acknowledging them.
Yeah.
Letting them know, hey, I see you.
But whatever's happening in that specific instance can get handled during open hours.
Have you ever had a client or a prospect see that as a negative attribute?
No. I've actually had people tell me that they admire it.
Well, shit, there's a lesson right there. Because I don't. I mean, that's one of the last things I do is I sit down with my laptop. I mean, by the time I'm going to get in bed, everybody's already asleep.
Oh, I see those emails.
Yeah. It's 10:30 emails, yeah. But
that's almost exactly the time.
It just helps me feel better about going to bed. But, man, I mean, if
you're going to bed, putting stuff
it's just getting ready for the next day. That's one of the hardest parts. I don't know if you ever feel this way, but one of the hardest struggles I have is that while I'm doing something, I always feel there's 10 things not getting done.
Yep.
And that's probably one of my biggest stresses. And it's not just here. I mean, I'm thinking, of course, luckily I'm not coaching anymore, but all those 7 years of coaching sports, God forbid there's a game that day. Yeah. I'm in the middle of a meeting, my brain starts thinking about the lineup for that afternoon. Yeah, it's a constant struggle, man.
Well, you mentioned about doing one thing and then thinking that there's 10 other things that aren't being done. That's something that I also learned during the process of going through therapy or whatever. You have to prioritize what you're doing at that moment.
Yeah.
Because if you try to hold on to those different things, eventually you'll be like that cartoon where you have a handful of stuff and you have 2 more things to pick up. You reach down to pick it up and then you drop everything.
Yeah, that's a hell of an analogy.
And so it's just a matter of prioritizing what's important first and then going from there. But the home work-life balance, the 7 to 7 was a very important rule that we put in because Jen does the same thing.
That's really solid, man, because I'll be honest with you. One of our other producers is, if she does listen to this, is going to come to me and say, I told you, because I was telling her, like, work-life balance is almost non-existent in this job. Get ready for it. It's really hard. This is sometimes, especially during fourth quarter, this might be an 80-hour-a-week job.
Oh, yeah. That's a different animal at that moment, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess some people can handle it, but the fact that you can mentally disconnect like that is – it's a strength. It's a superpower. Not very many people can that have found the success that you found in this job, man. I mean,
I just wanted to be able to make sure that, yes, and I appreciate you saying that we found success here. It's great to have success at work. I also want to, in lack of a better terms, have success at home with the kids. I don't want my children to run to me and think that they're not going to be able to have my time because I'm prioritizing phone calls.
So you have 6 kids again. That's a lot of kids, bro. Yeah. that's a lot of time. I only got 2. That takes up all my time, man. God, dog. That's a ton. So you've mentioned a lot. Let's go ahead and talk about your therapy. And again, I told you before we got in here, if we start hitting a point where you feel we're pushing something you don't want to talk about, you just let me know. But
absolutely,
when you got into therapy, when you started taking therapy, we won't talk about when you got into it, but why have you continued it after all this time? I mean, I don't see you – well, I'll take that back. I do see you as a super stressful guy every once in a while. I know when Matty Ice can get a little spun around the axle. I've seen it.
Yep.
But most of the time, you're pretty calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah.
And so why, now that you've learned these lessons, why do you continue to go to therapy?
So that's actually a really good question. So originally started therapy in 2018. I don't mind sharing that. During that time – I went for things that I just need to work on in personal life. But as I started to go through those steps and COVID came around and coming out of COVID and trying to readjust to post-COVID life, and I learned that going through therapy, it helped me be a better leader, helped me be a better coworker, it helped me be a better parent, helped me be a better spouse, because we're going in there to talk about the things we're working on. I've talked about my work during therapy. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. How should I handle this? And it's just a matter of they're going to teach you the tools to where you can go through the day and not want to jump out the 4th floor window of an office. But it's just a matter of making sure that you can get that proper brain healing. Because this is probably, you told me the moment I stepped on this was the most stressful job I've ever been a part of. And I was like, yeah, this guy's full of crap. You're exactly right. This is a stressful career. And if you don't have somebody to, I don't want to say offload that to, but if you don't have somebody to talk to about that, it's going to slowly eat you up. And eventually you're going to get to a point where you get jaded at this career because you're going to have tons of income, but you're going to have to talk to.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I created this, man.
Yeah.
I don't feel like obviously the therapy route is the way I think a lot. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't. I've considered it a lot just because, we in this job, other than you and I sitting here talking, we don't have a lot of people to talk to. People outside of here, what do you do? Well, I'm in insurance, and that's it. I mean, this ain't sexy. I mean, we're not. Nobody. Oh, tell me more. It's not. What are you doing? Like, oh, okay, next conversation.
It's all about stop loss.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about underwriting and manual rates. So it's not a sexy job, but it's such a high demand job that it's hard for people to relate to the stresses that we have.
Yes.
So because of that, how did you find you moved from Midland to San Antonio? how did you find a therapist? For people that out there that have never thought about it but are considering it, how did you find the right one?
Great question. So whenever I found therapy, I was in Amarillo, working with Aflac.
Okay.
And it was just a God thing. The therapist that we found out there, it turns out I played Little League Baseball with his brother in Odessa. Oh. So if that isn't a God thing, I don't know what to tell you. But I asked him, because he's such a well-respected person in that industry, I was like, hey, who do you know in San Antonio that I can go see? And so he did his research, and he sent me 3 people. And I went through, vetted them all, and I landed on the person I've been going to for about 3 years now. And it's whenever people go to find therapy, and I grew up in a household where therapy was bad. And so that was something new for me. I actually thought therapy was bad in 2018 until I was like, oh, this guy can actually help me. Mm-hmm. And then going through the process, and I've gone bi-weekly since 8 years ago.
So you're just on a cadence at this point.
And there's times where I don't have anything to talk about.
So what do you do?
We rehash stuff that we talked about in the past. But, hey, you talked about this in the past. Let's bring that back up. But it helps you. And I can't say that enough. It's yes, it helps in the work, and you need to make sure that you had that, because I cannot stress that enough. Mental health is very, very important, especially in our industry. But it helped me relate to my children. It helped me, like I said, be a better husband. It is probably the best thing there too. But mental health is definitely a big thing.
Yeah, and focusing on the family is number one. It's just hard to do in this job. So let's go back a little bit to work. Continuing with the stress conversation. And one of the things that I tell everybody that comes through here is this job ebbs and flows like crazy.
Absolutely.
One day you're sitting here questioning the move because nothing's happening. What am I doing here? Maybe I'm not good enough. I mean, that's where my head went. I spent 11 years in your seat. So, there was times, months, sometimes close to a year where nothing was really moving. Mm-hmm. And you start questioning your ability, your sanity, everything else, and then all of a sudden you wake up and it's coming through you in waves, man.
Oh,
you got
absolutely.
More prospects and open enrollments and fourth quarter renewals, and it's just boom. So how, on a day-to-day basis, let's start with the ebb. How do you handle the times when things are just not moving? Those prospects that are delaying, the constant no's. What are you doing to stay hungry and focused in those times?
Yeah. So whenever you're getting I call it teeth kicked in, where you're just not having any success at all.
Painful days.
In my personal opinion, whatever we're doing at that moment is not working. So we have to go back to the drawing board about, hey, we have done it this way, where we've walked in, we've brought collateral, we've brought fun social events, we've done this, and nothing's moving. Let's go back to the whiteboard. And we just did that with I'm not going to mention their name, but we just did that with the prospect not too long ago, where we met with them 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we went and reintroduced ourselves, and now we had a finance with them the other day.
Started from scratch.
Yeah, pretty much just started over, because they had so much changeover. They had so much things going on that I'm like, okay, cool. Half the people aren't even here from whenever we last spoke. Mm-hmm. But as you go through that process and resetting yourself, per se, it allowed us to reset that credibility that we had from before, and then it started moving along the lines. But other than that, you have to have an accountability partner, and T.
Yeah.
And there's times where we're like, all right, dude, we got to scratch this. What are we doing? And we bounce stuff off each other constantly.
Yeah.
And it helps on the low times. But I met with a good buddy of mine yesterday for coffee, and he said something that his manager told him. I thought it was pretty interesting, especially in our industry. He said the lows are never too low and the highs are never too high. And I was like,
well, that was freaking profound.
I was like,
I don't know who that guy is.
Where did that come
yet?
from?
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you once it gets done.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh man, that it just kind of hit me while we were sitting there. I was like, I didn't even think to think that way. But
we do, though. That's the point. We do think that they're too low. When we're in the low, you think it's the lowest point that you could possibly be
worse.
at. You know, it can't get worse.
Yep.
You know, we talk about that every fourth quarter, right? You know, there's a baby analogy, right? It's this is the worst fourth quarter we've ever had. No, it didn't.
It's mind over matter at that point. Whenever you're in the lows, it's mind over matter.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use T again. For those of y'all that don't know, T is Terry. He's a good buddy of mine. He's been in this industry for a long time.
He doesn't know yet, but he'll be on this podcast.
Yeah, he doesn't know yet. He'll be here at some point.
Surprise, Terry.
But he went from getting his butt kicked, being told no, and this was in 24, and then he turns around and gets 4 BORs in 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, you just opened up like $400,000 in business in a week.
Well, there's flow.
Yeah, absolutely. But he went from getting his teeth kicked in went to the top of the mountain in a week.
Yeah.
But it comes with the processes, mind over matter.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be mentally stronger than what you think you're going up against at that moment.
Okay. So that's the ebb.
Yep.
Talked about T getting 400. And you've had moments like this too.
Yep. Agreed. Yep.
So when you're dealing with the flow,
mm-hmm.
how do you handle the stress of the flow? Because those days, I don't know if you can still do your 7 to 7, then you have a superpower. Because when those flows are coming through, man, I'm the only time I do not, that's my 7 to 7 is I don't answer while I'm eating dinner with my wife. That's it.
That's respectful.
I will still text and say, hey, I'll call you right back, but that's it. But as soon as dinner's over, I'm like, sorry, honey. Get the kids to do the dishes. I'm heading over here.
I'm going to say 2 things around the flow. One, whenever you go out and you get that win, the one that you've been chasing, and you're like, man, I've been chasing this company for a year and a half. You talked about one the other day you chased for 5 years.
Yeah.
What'd you do that next day after you got that win? Did you
I went
celebrate
right back to work.
or did you go back to work?
Went right back to work.
Too many people celebrate. Too many people let that celebration last a little too long. You need to be out there that next day prospecting like that win never happened.
That's a mentality I think a lot of people struggle with.
I would agree.
Because it leads to another conversation I was going to have. You know, you have experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
Terry's experienced it. I've experienced it. You have those flows, and then you fall into an ebb. And let's just say what it is. This is a what have you done for me lately industry. Frankly, I mean, come on.
Yep.
We're dealing, our company alone, multi-billion-dollar company, you know, we're in a sales organization.
Yep.
So, you know, I try my dangest to celebrate those wins for you guys. But how do you handle the downward slide off that flow?
Yes.
When things were, I mean, you were so high, everything's going so well, and you're getting celebrated, and there's emails going out across the region, and look how great Matt's doing, and all these things. And then all of a sudden, it's like, Matt, you haven't had a sale in 4 months. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
You know, so how do you handle those aspects?
So that's kind of what we faced last year, and I think that wasn't just here. That was industry-wide.
Yeah,
you go and get
tough.
a win, and then 2 or 3 months later, they're like, hey, what's happening?
Yeah.
Like, it's not for lack of trying, guys. It's just a matter of, yes, you're going to hit that dry spot, but that dry spot can turn around just as quick to a 4-win week or something like that.
Ooh.
But as long as you're
I don't think I've ever had a 4-win week, man. We're going to have one of those soon?
Hey, your boy T did it, man.
He did.
But
That's
if you
a good
can
point. I
go
remember
and
that.
you can, I would just say constantly show up with the ready to get to work mentality, to already have a process. You can't walk into the office and be like, what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
You have to walk in knowing, okay, cool, I'm calling this person, going to visit this person. That's how you're going to eventually get out of that lull and get back up to getting those wins.
It's such a great point, too, because, you know, when I think I've talked to you about it back in the day when I was producing, you know, I was a grinder. You know, some guys out there are great at networking. Some guys are great with COIs and centers of influence and stuff. And I was not good at either one of them, frankly. My role was just I was a smiling and dialing man, doing drops, shooting emails. I was almost going to hammer a prospect till they gave in and took an appointment just out of pure annoyance at the time. Like, guys, shut up. I got it. All right, come in here and talk. But I fell into this trap, and I realized that after about 6 years that during the ebbs, when times were slow, I would equate my success to how many phone calls I made that day. You've seen my tracking spreadsheet. Now, I still track it.
I freaking love it.
Yeah, well, Some people love it. Some people make fun of me for it, but it is what it is. I love spreadsheets. But I fell into this trap after a while of feeling like making that many phone calls and emails was a successful day. And I'd walk out feeling like $1 million. Yeah. I made 40 phone calls. I went out and did 5 drops, and I shot off 25 emails, all for prospects, and it was, super unique. And I did all these great things and blah, blah, blah. And I went home feeling successful. It was actually David Matledge. I'll give him a shout out too, because he's probably going to get a phone call from me for this thing as well. Mater. I'll let him explain that nickname later on. But yeah, Matledge, one day we were talking on the phone, and I was bragging about my phone calls and my emails. And, for anybody that doesn't know David Matledge, he doesn't exactly pull punches. And I told him about all these phone calls, told all these emails, and Matledge goes, well, how many sales did you make? I was 0. And he goes, well, then what the hell did you do all week? I was like, I made all these phone calls. He goes, so what? And I was like, it definitely burst my bubble. But it was a reality check, man. Yeah. It was understanding that we are in a sales organization. Everything we're doing is building up to that. But if you allow your success meter to be predicated solely on your effort, well, everybody can get in here and grind, man.
Absolutely.
It's not that hard to grind. Just show up, make phone calls. I mean, you could do that. You could leave 50 voicemails in a day. Did you set an appointment? Man. Okay. So because of that, let's go back to you now, because you do a good job with the phone calls. You do a lot of drops. Yeah. You do a decent amount of networking. When you get no after no after no after no, and well, it's not even that. You get nothing. Mm-hmm. You make 20 phone calls in a day. You go out and you do all these drops, and you send all these emails out. You don't get a single response. I used to put read receipts, and I'd see those deleted without reading notification. Like, oh, man, I worked so hard on that email. Leaving all these, probably for me, way too long voicemails, doing these super elaborate drops, and you don't get jack shit. Nope. How do you handle that, man?
Oh, it happens. It happened not too long ago.
Yeah.
Went out we did calls early that morning, did drops in the afternoon for an event we had coming up, and I did not talk to a single decision maker that day. And probably did about 30 companies worth of outreaches. Mm-hmm. And went home. What'd you do today? Not really much, but I went and did drops, did calls.
So you felt that way from the start?
Absolutely. But here's what I came away with it. Guess what I did the next day? I had 30 people I was emailing and saying, hey, sorry I missed you yesterday. I want to see if I can drop by and introduce myself. And out of those 30 that we reached out to, we had 5.
So you're just going back after them?
Yep.
Going back after them over and over and over.
Because they're going to be, oh, yeah, I saw that on my desk. I want to talk more about benchmarking. Or, oh, yeah, I saw this on my desk. Let's talk about this. Because they don't know what we dropped off unless they actually looked at it. There's sometimes it may even go in the trash. But you're going to have some people.
Those gatekeepers are good, man.
Yeah. You're going to have some people that actually be like, heck, we've got our teeth kicked in for the past 3 years on renewals. We need help.
Yeah.
About, hey, I can be just that guy to help you. Let's set up a time to meet.
Okay.
And so I know I've said this term already. It comes back to mind over matter. Like, yes, you're going to get the no's. You're going to get to where you did absolutely nothing that day, or it feels that way at least. And then, but if you can continue to have that work ethic, follow up, whether it be email, call, dropping by, having somebody that you know that also works with them in a COI kind of stance, reach out. Just have some way to kind of follow up on that. Don't just drop up, didn't talk to you, never going to talk to you again. That's just waste your time.
So maybe this doesn't affect you. Maybe it's because of your head checks. Maybe it's because of the your persistence with therapy, which is all helping you probably a lot more than, I don't have head checks. Frank, I'll be honest with you, and this, a lot of people out there can probably relate to this. When I get home, I don't want to talk about insurance. Most of the time I don't want to talk, unless something really good went that day. But even if something really went well, trying to explain what goes well, even to my own family, like, they're going to be like, cool beans, bro. Sounds awesome.
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, it sounds boring. Right? It's exactly what it is. Like, they don't want to hear it. They're happy for me, but that going into an elaborate story about what occurred during a cold call this day, or how we worked a renewal down by negotiating pooling points. I was like, what? All right, cool. But when I get home, or let's go back. When I'm dealing with the cold calls, when I'm dealing with the lack of emails, I had a tendency at some point to start taking offense to the lack of response.
Okay.
Have you ever fallen into that trap?
I have. If it's somebody that we've talked to, have meetings with, and they just go cold.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it something I did wrong? Is it something that we as a whole did wrong? Like, why did they go dark? 9 times out of 10, they'll come back like, hey, life just got busy. Sorry, we went silent there for a little bit. Can we pick up where we left off?
Yeah.
Now you'll have the one where it's like, yeah, we just didn't want to work with you guys. We didn't like y'all. And that's okay. We're not for everybody. We're not everybody's cup of tea, right? But at the end of the day, as long as we are doing the job, following up, making sure that we're doing exactly what we need to do. And if you follow up 10 times and eventually they're just like not talking to you, it may be you at that moment.
Yeah, that's a good point. We work on our messaging a little bit around here, buddy.
But if it's you miss one call, miss 2 calls, drop the rope, whether it be, hey, I'm going to give him a break. Maybe now's not the right time. Reach out to him in a month.
Okay.
But there has to be something going on other than flat out telling you no. I've only been told actually no, we don't want to talk to you, only a handful of times.
Yeah, that's what it's so impactful. It feels like a lot.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
rare.
You'll
I remember
them.
the stories. Yeah. I remember the couple times people slammed down a phone on me, told me to get out of their office.
Yeah. But other than that, sometimes just people's life is busy. And it's up to you as a producer to do the follow-ups, to think outside of the box, because that person you just talked to probably has every other broker in town calling on them.
That is the problem.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people get lost, man. Yeah. You know, they think, and I'm guilty of this too, back when I was a producer, man. I would make all these phone calls and think, I cannot believe this individual isn't interested in this idea, this solution, this product, whatever it may be, right? But at the end of the day, there's 10, 12 other Matt Allisons out there calling, trying to say we're the biggest, we're the brightest. You know, and there's some good guys out there. And girls. There's some great producers out there.
Yeah.
But fact of the matter is there's so many people calling on that one individual. You know, I equate it a lot to what we experience. I'm sure you're experiencing it now. You know, you're pretty successful. You've been here for 4 years. Some of the newer guys in our office probably haven't experienced it, but I guarantee you, like Scott Foley, Tony Bruns, those guys that have been here a while, they feel it. When we get a phone call out of the blue from a vendor or a carrier, our first reaction is, oh, man.
Like, what happened?
God, I'm so busy. I don't have time for this, man. It may be a really cool idea, a really cool product, but we just, oh, man, it's intrusive. It's intrusive. And so I think it's really important that, you know, everybody, you, me, all of us, start to understand that it's, when you're hearing those no's, when you're going through those frustrations, if you get a super aggressive, abrasive prospect, which I've had them, you know, and it's funny, I found out a lot of those guys were aggressive and abrasive after I became practice leader because you guys started calling on them. And I think the first one I came across, there was one that Scott had called on and actually got a hold of. And they said, yes, you can come in as long as you don't bring that Jay Holland guy. I was like, what? What did I do?
Jay's like, wait a second.
Wait a minute. And we have one of them. We have a client now that Brandon got a while back. When I actually went to lunch with him for the first time when Brandon went out to meet him, and when he saw me and I introduced myself, his face just dropped because I probably called on him 15, 20 times. He's like, oh, no. And I'm like, I'm not here to call you, man. You and Brandon are friends. We're good. We're good.
Depending on how they look at it, they could admire your work ethic because, hey, he's persistent.
Yeah.
Persistent pays, right?
Yeah.
But it just really depends on the person. But if they're getting bombarded every single day by 15 of us, they're just like, all right, you're just another. You're just like somebody else.
Yeah.
But that's where you have to separate yourself. How do you set yourself apart in that situation? How do you make you the best out of those 15?
That's a great point. How do you separate yourself?
At the end of the day, you have to be a proactive broker. You have to be able to bring value and solutions to the table. And you have to be able to, and this is going to be the easiest one out of all, answer your phone.
Answer your phone, yeah. Can I add to that?
Yeah.
I think you got to be relatable.
100%.
I think there's a lot of people that get out there and they get real salesy. I mean, it is a sales organization.
It is.
But more than anything else out there, this is a relationship job, man.
Yes.
Because a lot of these guys, you're going to be working with them, hopefully, for years and years and years. And they got to like you.
Absolutely.
They got to like you. If you're not a likable guy, you're going to have a hard time in this business, man.
And that involves you being proactive, being in front of them.
Yeah.
Because I know the insurance world is a very, very small world. There are some brokers out here that once they get the case, they just kind of fall to the back burner and just let the AMs handle it. Mm-hmm. You have to be front and center and hold that relationship.
Yeah.
Because what if that AM leaves? Your hands are tied at that moment. You don't have an arm in the fight at that moment because you put yourself on the back burner. Put yourself at the front, constantly be involved, and those people will be your cases for years to come.
Yeah.
They'll write you letters of recommendation. They'll give you referrals. All those different things.
Yeah, that's your lifeblood.
You have to be front and center with them. You can't be on the back burner.
Yeah. I mean, your book is your lifeblood. And that's
Absolutely.
how, I mean, you're never gonna truly make it in this business if you don't find a way to maintain that relationship.
Absolutely.
You know, it's nice in this business that if you are,
give me another one.
Yeah, I was going to say we need to talk. Matter of fact, you can top me off while you're at that.
Yeah.
It's a nice heavy pour, Matt.
You know, just it's
you
Friday.
Make sure the microphones pick up that nice heavy pour too. Yeah.
Friday.
It is Friday. Cheers, happy Friday.
Oh yeah, hey man.
Killing episode 1, bro. Got it.
Join the conversation.
Yeah. So it's very easy to focus on this being a sales job, right? I mean, that's what we are. We're producers.
That's exactly what it is.
Production under pressure. We're producing business, right? So it's easy to always focus on that, but it's not nearly as easy to focus on that new business, realizing that behind you have the potential for lost.
Yeah.
And that lost business, I mean, especially the very first time you ever lose business and you realize how much that takes out of your pocket, holy cow.
I only cried one tear.
Well, good for you, man. I might have stuffed my head in a pillow for a while.
It's definitely a shell shock.
Yeah.
I would say. Especially, we all lose cases for different reasons, whether it be we, the producers, screw up, because let's be honest, there's times where we do. Whether it be a service thing, whether it be miscommunication, anything that happens. If you get that lost case, you get that email saying, hey, we moved, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're going to look inside like, man, how did I screw this up?
Yeah.
And you may get in your head with it. And I remember the first case I lost, I was like, how did I do that? What did I do wrong? I was so new in the industry, I didn't even know what lost business meant.
Yeah.
But it teaches you things. The lost cases teaches you things.
Yeah.
Because
what do you think you've learned from it? What are some of the lessons you've learned through lost business?
The lessons I learned is, one, I always need to be as tied in as possible. Every meeting I can be on, I need to be on. Like, yes, I know our number one duty is to go out there and bring in new cases and let our AMs handle it. And I love our AMs to death. I think our account managers are what drives our book. But at the end of the day, we need to be business partners with our AMs and share that responsibility.
That is I've never used that term. I've said partners, but
be a business partner.
Be a business partner because they're good at what they do, man.
Hey, what happens if we retain the business? Our AMs get extra incentives and
bonus,
stuff.
And we can hire help.
Absolutely, right? Why wouldn't that make you a business partner? We benefit if we keep the case by keeping our revenue up.
Yep.
May even increase depending on if we add new lines, different stuff like that. So you may get a little pay bump there. The AMs win because they're getting bonuses, they're getting incentives, they're getting all these different things. So at the end of the day, everybody's happy.
Yeah, it's a partnership, man.
Absolutely. That's why every day you have to go by, see those account managers. Hey, great to see you. Hey, doing well? You need anything? You check in with them daily. Hey, do you need me to jump in on anything at all? No? Cool. I'm going to be over here in Austin running a meeting. If you need me, call me, text me. I'll jump on as quickly as possible. Because if they know where you're at, you know where they're at, those cases aren't going to go anywhere. And that's why we're able to hold on to that business. Yeah, I lost one or two along the way. Yeah. It sucks. But those are things that are out of our control at the moment.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, because luckily we're in a great spot internally with our own account management system, but they still make mistakes, just like we do. We make mistakes, they make mistakes. We talk about lost business, and sometimes it's completely beyond our control. You experienced that, last year?
Yep.
Yeah, one where a client, a year and a half ago, we were sitting at lunch with this client, and it was, my head grew 5 sizes when I walked out of that lunch. They were just telling us how great we were, and then within 6 months, they're all gone.
Yep.
They're all
the
gone.
entire C-suite was gone.
The entire C-suite was gone, and the CEO's in Montana, and somebody's in Wyoming.
Somebody's in Wyoming.
Yeah,
somebody's in
crazy.
Colorado,
and then just without a blink, boom, they just moved the business. No warning, no chance to save it, no nothing.
Yep. And that one was a tough one because we didn't get a chance to try.
Yeah, that was a hard one.
But what I do realize just during the time as a producer, learn from those losses. Don't make the same mistake twice.
There you go.
If it's something you did, don't do it again. If it's something AMs did, make sure that doesn't happen again. If it's something out of your control, make sure you head that off at the pass. Make sure that you're out in front of it. That's what I mean by being proactive.
Yeah.
Make sure you're in front of whatever that solution was that you got kicked out for. If we'd have known that they're selling, I'd have asked immediately. Or not selling, just changing over. I'd ask immediately. Addresses, phone numbers, different stuff. I'd have sent them things, but we didn't even get the communication that they were all over C-suite.
No,
it just kind of happened. Boom, they're gone. I'm like, awesome.
There's nothing you can do about those. But let's go back to this. How do you, when you have a loss that isn't from that, right? Maybe it was a mistake, and maybe it was something that the client made the mistake, or maybe, and you kind of got thrown under the bus. That's happened before.
That's happened.
Maybe it was our mistake. Maybe it was yours. Maybe it was my mistake. I don't know. I screw up some stuff too. I messed up a contribution analysis for a client the other day. We mess up.
Yeah, we're human.
So how do you, as the producer, make sure you're not flying off the handle when that happens? How do you take ownership even when it's not necessarily your fault, but it is your client?
Yeah.
So how do you get manly enough, I guess, but I don't know what term we'll use here, but how do you man up and take ownership on a situation like that?
You definitely have to look inward at that moment, especially if it's something that you did. I say we, myself, because I can't speak for anybody else. I know that I have a tendency to be prideful, as some people do. Hey, I'm good at this. All right, I'll do this, whatever.
Well, we're sales guys. Most of us are. We're a little cocky.
But you have to be able to look in and say, hey, I actually did screw up here. This is my fault that they left. And you can't put that blame on anybody else. I've seen that before in the past, too, from around the country where somebody lost a case and immediately point the finger at somebody else because they didn't want to take the blame.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, that was on you. Sorry, bro. But that takes a big boy voice to say, or big girl voice to say, hey, I was wrong. I screwed up.
Yeah, and thank you for saying big girl. I keep referring to men.
Want to make sure that we get the girls involved.
Producers on this.
We want to make sure we get the girls involved.
There's some amazing female producers out there.
It just takes that ownership.
Yeah.
But process it however you need to process it.
Yeah.
Whether that be through notes, whether that be through a huddle with your leader, whether that be talking to a therapist, whether it be talking to an accountability partner. Talk through it to where it doesn't happen again. Because if you make the same mistake twice and get fired twice, now we have an issue.
Yeah.
But if you only make it once, never let it happen again. But if it's happened on a multiple occasion, okay, we need to sit down. There's something inner here that's happening.
Yeah. Well, that's always one of my biggest fears with the producers, especially the younger ones. If something goes wrong, playing the, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that game. And there is no better way to create divide in an office than pointing the finger when something happens. Because you mentioned that we're business partners here, right? So it's your commission. But if you lose an account, then that affects so many different things. It will trickle down to affect the account managers, and not just the account managers, other people within the company.
It affects the PL.
Yeah, it affects everything. So it puts a lot of pressure on us.
Yep.
The only way to circumvent lost business is to sell. Got to get out there and sell.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we have to be able to recoup and re-engage and just get back out there and start grinding again. That's exactly a difficult aspect to have, especially because I remember I think it was 2018 or 2019 was the year I had the most lost business I had. And there was it was all over the board why I lost it. But I lost it was a smaller account, but it was in succession. And I had ordered a Fossil watch. We're not talking about an expensive watch. It's a nice watch, but it's not like I'm talking some super high-end Rolex or anything like that. I ordered a Fossil watch. And I lost that business, and I came home, and I got online, and I tried to cancel the order because I can't afford that watch anymore. I was in total panic mode, man. Like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to have to sell my truck. I can't afford gas. I was like, yeah, it's going to be okay. So, that's how I felt. Have you ever run into situations where after some lost business, you felt like you were in total panic mode? And how did you handle that at home, if you did?
I've been in a fortunate situation where I have not lost a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost a handful.
Yeah.
And I think I've lost about one a year. And each one sucks. It really, really does. Yeah. And whether it be your fault, whether it be Ann's fault, whether it be the client's fault.
Yeah.
Let's not forget those guys.
Yeah,
it happens sometimes there.
It happens.
It's just a matter of like, okay, am I going to let this wreck me for the next 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I just going to have one night, maybe half of a day the next day to kind of sulk? And let's turn around, let's get back to work. Because whenever you lose a case, you got to replace that case.
Yeah. 100%.
Otherwise, your income's going down. And I just want to circle back just to the account managers real quick, talking about lost business and winning business and keeping business. For the producers out there, celebrate your account managers.
Hell yeah.
Do you know what a $5 Starbucks gift card will do for an account manager?
Yeah.
They will love you. They'll go to the ends of the earth for you. Just show them that you appreciate them.
It might be some of your best advice today.
Just show them that you appreciate them, because at the end of the day, they will go above and beyond just because you show them that you care.
Yeah. If I can add to that, I will tell you, that is some great advice, because I think it's often forgotten.
It is.
I mean, again, we're, as the sales guys, we want to celebrate ourselves. But if the account management staff isn't doing their job, you have to sit there and play defense.
You do.
All day long.
And that takes you out of the field.
Yeah, you can't go sell.
Yep.
So they definitely deserve all the kudos in the world every time you make a sale.
Absolutely.
But, one of the things that I think is lost on a lot of folks, I see it in producers sometimes, is when things are going wrong, defending your account managers. It's a hard concept, because are you going to be at risk of losing an account if you, I guess lack of a better term, argue over a situation?
I'll ask one because of that.
Yeah, and you say, hey, look, we said this, this, and this, and you didn't do that, or whatever it may be. But, we tend in this industry to take the blame for a lot, and we have to. That's our job, man. We're in the middle, right? We're brokers. That's our job. We're in the middle. We find buyers. We find sellers. We put them together. We're really not the manufacturer of anything. Yep. But when things go wrong, we've made all the promises. It lays on us.
Yep.
And so when those things go wrong and we take that blame, a lot of times, since the account manager becomes a day-to-day contact, they take the brunt of it, man.
They do.
And I think the worst thing a producer can do is flat out agree and not defend an account manager.
1,000% agree.
And just say, oh, yeah, I can't believe she did that. I'll go back and I'll talk to her and we'll fix it, that kind of stuff. Rather than saying, well, let me assess this real quick and come back. Maybe if it may not be the client's fault at all. It may be 100% that account manager's fault.
Yeah.
But finding a way to make that account manager feel protected and appreciated. Even if you lose that account, man, that account manager will go to the ends of the earth for you if you help them feel protected and cared for and appreciated in those situations.
I cannot agree with you more. There are instances where I'll talk about the case that I lost, and they tried to put on our account manager. And when I hadn't defended her in that situation, I attached every single email that defended her in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't like that I defended her. We lost the case, but at the end of the day, she's one of our best friends.
Yeah.
She will go to the ends of the earth to try to make sure that we are going to be successful in cases because we defended her in that situation. Because I think at the end of the day, like I truly go back to the true business partner stance with your account managers and your producers. There's so many times where we had an old account executive that used to be in our office where he's like, you're the boss, I'm just a peon. I was like, no, sir.
Mm-mm.
No, sir.
Nope.
We are business partners in this. And I had to sit there and explain to him why. And I was like, you win if this stays here. I win if this stays here. Why not work this together?
So you saw that early on.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I saw it with my first case.
That's fantastic. Well, look, we're about an hour in, I think. You've had, you've been here for 4 years.
Yep.
You're very well respected within our company.
I appreciate that.
Very well respected in the industry, and I talked to, you're now one of the guys in our office that when a carrier rep comes in and they want to talk to the big dogs, you're one of the ones they're asking about.
I appreciate that.
But when we go back to day one, if you had the chance to sit down and talk to little Matty Ice 4 years ago, you're never little. How tall are you?
6'4".
6'4". Yeah, you're not little, but young Matty Ice, 4 years younger Matty Ice. If you could grab that guy and give him any piece of advice at all about what this life is going to be like, what do you think you go back and tell him?
Have a lot of patience. You have to have the patience, because if you come in here expecting, like I was, that things are going to happen immediately, you're going to be proven wrong really fast. And if vice versa, if you come in here thinking like, oh, everything's going to take 2-3 years, I can just kind of coast through this, no problem, just earn a paycheck, that ain't going to happen either. You have to learn fast. And a lot of people equate it to drinking from a fire hose, right? You're being thrown so many acronyms during your training process. I'm like A, B, C, X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3.
So
what's
you're telling me
happening
to
here?
slow down in the training? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I love the training.
Okay.
But during that training, you're still in the mindset of, I'm still going to crush here, no problem. I'm going to get through this training, go out and close my first case next week. Not until you come out of training. You don't have to sit in the training every single day. You're actually out there in the field. That's where you have to have the patience. Because if you're getting told no, listen, man, I worked with the company that used to be called the Yankees of Insurance. I actually gave that name. Just
Yeah. You taking credit?
I'm just going to say that. But
hey, if that shows up on a duck sometime soon, if they're wearing pinstripes, you need to take some credit, man.
It's true. They're loved and they're hated by many, many people.
Yeah.
But love them. Don't knock me, Affleck. You have to have the patience to come out here and get told no. And you have to celebrate the no's. And I know that sounds really, really dumb. But if you're celebrating the no's, it means you're talking to people. It means you're honing your craft. It means you're learning and shaping that tool to where you can go start closing those large cases, to where you can win the big ones that can get us over the hump of a quota or get to that income that you're officially wanting to earn. But you have to get through the no's and sharpen your tools, per se, to get to that point.
You're saying celebrate the no's?
Celebrate the no's.
That's hard as hell to do, man.
It is very hard. I was taught that at Affleck, and I kind of looked at you. I kind of looked at them like you just looked at me a little while ago. But if you're celebrating the no's, it means you're talking to decision makers. It means you're honing your craft.
Okay.
It means
you're not just talking about the lack of responses. You're talking about people when they say, not right now,
actually
no.
having a conversation.
Okay.
Because we can role play, and we do a great job of role playing at our office and learning and honing our craft with people in our office, and that's fantastic. I love it. But what are you going to do whenever John Smith, CEO of a 500-employee trucking company, tells you no after you just blurted your guts out to him? You may like it.
I know how I handled it. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
It wasn't celebratory.
But if you turn around and you're like, hey, I just learned from this. Make sure you tell him, hey, do you mind if I follow up with you in 2 months? And if you come back completely different than what you let off from, he's going to see that growth too. He's like, oh, this guy actually cares. A lot of times when I really tell you no, they want to see if you're coming back. They want to see if you're going to be back here in the 2 months. And a lot of times they may mark it on their calendar. What I advise you to do, put it on your calendar. Make sure you walk in that door 2 months from the day you said you were. And whenever you walk in, that, hey, Mr. John Smith, just wanted to come by and say hi again. I know I told you 2 months ago I stopped by. I spent 2 months today. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
He may give you 5 minutes just out of courtesy, but in that 5 minutes, wow. Show him what you have learned during that time by sharpening your tools and honing your craft. You'll be able to learn it.
I love it, man. Man, it's been fantastic, buddy.
I love it. Dude, this is awesome. Thank you for letting me be part of this.
No, man, I'm proud of you, buddy.
Cheers, brother.
Built a hell of a career here.
Thank you.
And now we're starting this off, so I couldn't think of anybody better to have on here for our first episode. You know, we've got a long way to go. I plan on having you on again.
I appreciate it.
Mixed in old T-Lax.
OT, man.
He needs to get ready to get down here
I
to San
told him
Antonio.
on the way over. I was like, hey, can't wait to have you on.
Yeah, he'll be here, sitting probably right in that chair right there.
Absolutely.
Right in front of those 3 whiskeys, so we better
Yeah, those whiskeys look good, don't they?
Yeah, I know. We're about to shut it down. But I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
We'll just keep grinding, keep fighting.
Keep on
All
that
right,
hustle.
man. And we'll tell everybody goodbye. We'll say bye to our audience. I don't know
Yeah.
where they're at. I don't know. It might be 1. It might be 100. I don't know.
Take care, everybody.
But-
Go out there and crush it.
All right.